And welcome in. This is Under the Spotlight. I'm Carmela, and I'm so beyond excited to introduce you to our guest today because I know the fun that all of us will have. But first, let me just say thank you to all of you who've been saying, gosh, I've enjoyed the shows. The guests have so many inspiring tips. I have fun. It's enjoyable. If you would, please share with your friends that may feel the same way, who could use that little bit of lift, because today, after the show, it'll be available live on YouTube here on my page and, of course, our guest page, but also as a podcast. This will be the most shared because this man's superpower is kindness. So we're about to flood your life with a lot of kindness, love, and laughter. To stay in touch with what's going on with our guests and Under the Spotlight, go to carmelasterling.com and join the VIP audience. Without further ado, because I personally can't wait, let me give a cheers to our sponsor, which is Perks, which I'm drinking right now in this glass. Don't make any fun about what else is in there. It's just Perks and just water, and it's definitely time to have some energy lift, and that's what you'll get from this amazing drink. Cheers to all of you watching and our very special guest with his superpower of kindness, Mr. Jorge Pérez. Good morning, and Texas, by the way, Jorge and Texas. Good morning.
Good morning, Carmela. So nice to be with you, and thank you so much for inviting me onto your amazing podcast. And I already see people are tuning in, so we'll wait till everybody comes in. Say a big hello. This is so much fun. I'm telling you, Carmela, I love being on TV and doing all that, but there's nothing more fun than these
Isn't it
podcasts.
fun?
Because first of all, I'm never scripted. Try to script. So much fun because it's just ad lib and my friends, my Facebook friends, and all the show friends, oh, they love it, especially my happy hour, Fridays. Which, by the way, I got to do one of those,
What
right,
happens on
Tex?
the happy hours?
Okay.
Is it more Q&A, Jorge?
Well, there's cocktails, number one. So that's a rule. 2-drink minimum. Uh, So I'm either at the lake house, on the lake. Last time I was at the country club, which is 3 blocks away. But it's just so much fun. And I ask people to write in questions, and it's just so
We want
fun.
to,
I really love it. I don't have a host, next to me with countdown
right? You're
timing,
free, completely free. Well, today I promise your audience and mine and everyone beyond, because this is going to be on a very big platform. We want to know more about you. I know Texas steals the show. We love that he's up there. He's the cleanest, sweetest bulldog I've ever seen. No,
Yeah,
wait,
he's got to
what are you
go. He's
doing?
got to go. All right,
Oh
come
my gosh, I
back here,
love your
baby. Come back
philosophy,
here. You're in
everything.
demand. You're in demand.
You
Look at
love
this
that dog.
boy.
Oh my gosh.
Look at that
Does
boy.
he travel with you when you travel?
So cute. Yeah. He does, yeah. He's not quite gold yet on United Airlines, but he loves hotels. He loves restaurants. So I always find outdoor patios. I mean, he is just unreal.
You've
He
done a,
really is super sweet, and so smart. That's the other problem. Much smarter than
you've
I
done a
am.
lot of traveling, and people may know you from many things. Say Yes to the Dress comes to mind. Your designs have hung in that amazing store. We've decorated our homes with Waterford, and you come to mind. Table dressings, inspiration, but from, all these things that you've done. While we're showing some of these pictures, you have a line of jewelry, fashion, home by Jorge Perez. What many may not know is your beginning inspiration really comes from your family. Yes? An aunt, if I remember right.
Oh, definitely. Yes, definitely. It's amazing. I was really, I would have to say, I was raised by women. My grandmother, abuelita, nena, we called her, and then of course my mother. But what's interesting is, first of all, being Cuban is so much fun, I have to say. And I was lucky enough to come here young enough so that I can speak English the way I can speak now, even though I've never spoken to my parents in English. We still speak Spanish. But if you meet my mother or my father, it's Charo and Ricky Ricardo. They have that. It is just the cutest thing to watch, and they're so sweet, and it's just so funny. But nobody believes we're related. You know what I mean? Or when I get off the phone on an airplane, I always say goodbye to my mother. You know, and I'm in Spanish, and Cuban Spanish is crazy Spanish.
Okay.
And then I hang up, and I just look back on the plane, and everybody's mouth is open. Like, did that come out of your mouth? So yeah, super fun. So yeah, it's all when you suffer as a family. I mean, we escaped Cuba. They lost everything. We lived in a small apartment in Flushing, Queens, New York. And it was great. They always shielded us, my brother and myself, from their issue, all that stuff, fleeing Cuba. Oh my gosh, and losing everything. I remember my mother telling me that her wedding dress, which I'll post a picture maybe later on, that my grandmother made all the dresses of the family. That was like she didn't sell dresses, but that was like what she did. That was the craft, that ladies had at that time, just like my great grandmother. So all the jewelry in our family was really designed by those three women. And that's why I went into jewelry design. But every gown ever worn by anyone in my family was made by my grandmother. So I took that into wedding dresses and then fashion. So it's just so bizarre. And what I always say, Carmela, is we're all designers. We just don't know it. You put together your home. You put together your living room. You pick out bedroom, pillows and what. We are all designers. So really, it's about tapping into that and then having the platform to be able to do it. So when I was on the Real Housewives of New York when my wedding gowns launched at Bloomingdale's 59th Street. We actually did a show. Bravo did a show with them there. It was super amazing. And then the magazines, had great relationships with all these editors of all the top magazines, especially Bravo, and they put it out there. And what does that speak to? The power of nice. See what happens when you're a nice person? People want to help out. They come together. So yeah, I literally don't believe that I have 3 lines of my brand on a national shopping network. It still, to me, is not real. I don't know.
Take us down this path though in designing. So we're all designers because you're right. We dress ourselves, we dress our home, we help others. We're all designers.
Right.
But how did you actually take like the concept? Because you are hands-on. You're not just picking things out. You're creating them in your mind and then on paper and in some cases sewing, right? And you have the jewelry made. And tabletop is it's kind of your jam, like how you make beautiful things. We'll show some pictures. For those of you who are listening to the podcast, the pictures are glorious of how you dress the table. But how did you tap into that, and how did you educate yourself throughout? So began with mom and auntie, and then all the women in your life. But did you go to school? What was your education? Can you walk us through that a little bit for those who may have a sense of tapping in?
Well,
Please.
it's so interesting, Carmel. You asked that because the first thing I ever drew, and I wish I still had it because it was in Cuba. The very first thing I drew on a piece of paper, and I can see it right now. I can actually see it, was a wedding dress. Now, of course, it looked horrible. But I was a little kid. I remember because my grandmother was making wedding dresses, for our family as they were getting married, and the bridesmaid dresses and all that stuff. And my grandmother made my christening outfit, by the way, that I still have. My mother has, and it goes to everyone who has a new child. My mama sends it to them, it comes back, and we still actually have it. So, so what's interesting is, I already knew design. It's like some people, some things come easy to some people, and you're scratching your head like, how is that possible? Like Michael Bublé. I mean, oh, talk about God gifting somebody, and then the looks. So it's just one of those things that was there. But what's interesting is I was the face of Waterford Crystal at the time. And I was working with an editor of a magazine. She owned a bridal magazine, and her husband was Jimmy, which is Demetrios in Greek, and he owned Demetrios, which is a huge label. He was the first person to put bling on a wedding dress in the 80s. So they're husband and wife. She's interviewing me as a spokesperson for Waterford, and we loved each other, absolute love. And I said to her, I remember it was the New York Tabletop Show, like, I don't know how many years ago now. And I said, hey, Donna, can I design a series of gowns and just to show to your husband? Maybe he might be interested. And she's like, of course, and she probably think like, oh God, these are going to be horrible. And I went on a cruise. I went on a European cruise that December, and I came back with 28 beautiful, huge designs sorry, I was going to get you one. I forgot to bring it. And I went to their office and I went like this. and their jaws dropped, and he immediately signed me on as one of his labels. So my label exists under the Demetrios label, interesting enough, because there's a lot of labels within that. That was crazy. But what was even crazier is I'm on the Real Housewives of New York making one-of-a-kind dresses for Luann, the Countess. I mean, how incredible is that? And then the next Tuesday, you see me on Say Yes to the Dress. So it was like, oh, and I was working with David Totero of My Fair Wedding. I was on a 37-city Macy's tour with David, I'm telling you. But all of this was because people love, it's just that love and that power of nice. Do something nice, but it's got to be genuine. So basically, that's how I started. And no, I didn't go to design school. I designed the clothes, but it goes to a major company. That company turns it into a CAD drawing. They have to decide how much of the costing to get it at that retail. Ay, Dios mío. I would lose my hair if I did all that. So I do the concept and the drawing, and then I send it to them, and then we review. I'll do 50 a season, but only 21 might come out of it. So it's very, very interesting. And then I'm on the air with Waterford Crystal doing all these beautiful table designs, my Waterford designs, which were just one incredible time. And then my contract ended, and the viewers wanted more Jorge. So it was the network who said, we want your home collection. So I feverishly designed an entire home collection that fall. And then, of course, fashion. People were like, this huge, huge fashion company approached me, who was in the TV shopping channel business already. They were like, please, can you, work? We'd love to have your brand. Of course. And 1 year later, the most incredible jewelry company approached me to come out with my jewels, because all of the jewelry that's in my family was designed by my great grandmother, grandmother, and mother. And when I go on tour, hopefully next year, into stores, I'm going to be touring with my family's collection. Some prized pieces from each of the eras will be coming with me on tour, but that's something for a year from now, or hopefully by the end of this year. I don't know, but I will definitely keep you posted. And by the way, my social tag is at Jorge Pérez Style, and that's a simple way for anybody, because Carmela, I want to welcome a lot of people that I don't even know that are your followers, that I'm seeing here. So I'm so delighted. So at Jorge Pérez Style, you will always know what's going on, and when you can see me and all that stuff, and you can communicate with me. That ring, by the way, on the bottom right, that's a solid platinum ring from my Black Label collection. It's a quad A tanzanite. I only made 50 in the world, limited edition, numbered with certificate of authenticity. And you wonder why it's sold out in no time at all. So yeah, so beautiful. And then the one on the left is part of my masterpiece collection. Super fun. Super fun. It's unbelievable.
That's beautiful. That is absolutely beautiful. I have a question. Does your mother expect you to send a piece of everything that you make? Just curious to know.
Listen, I tell her que me deje quieto, porque voy a mandar nada a ella. Ella lo tiene que comprar como todo el mundo. So she's got to stop, because I'm not sending her anything. She's got to buy it like everybody else. No, of course. She is just
wonderful.
Please,
I love it.
Please. She might as well have the Crystal Cathedral. She has so much Waterford. Yeah. So this is a new dress that I have. I don't know if you can see it. So anyway, yeah, I dress my mother all the time, but she is, my mother is gorgeous. She's so together. She's definitely from another period. My mother, oh my God, she's going to kill me for saying this. She has outfits to fly in. Yeah. We have gloves and a hat. I mean, I don't know where she's from, but yeah, she, and I remember when I got back from UCLA one summer to New York, I was wearing sweatpants. She almost died. She almost died. My first pair of blue jeans, I was 13 years old when I got my first pair of blue jeans. They were Wranglers in Queens, New York. And my grandmother, we weren't allowed out of the house wearing it. We were not allowed to wear blue jeans out of the house. We went through an inspection. It's the funniest, scariest thing when you think about it, but now look at me. And so funny, somebody asked me the other day, what was I known for in high school? I wish I had my yearbook. I was best dressed. Is that funny?
That is.
I mean, I was voted best dressed in high school, and here I am, I got some show and tell for you. Are you ready?
Ooh, ready.
People ask me, how do I keep all of my my clothing? Okay, so I brought this little show and tell.
Ooh.
These are one of two of my pocket squares. So when I go to get ready, I get one of my 350 bow ties and I try to match it to a pocket square. So this is how I keep them. It's just like the simple, the store display. So that's a little easy. I have a huge wardrobe. And then I'm going to show you one of 3 cases.
Okay. How fun.
So heavy. Of cufflinks.
Oh.
So I wear bow ties and cufflinks, as you know. This is one case. I have 3 of these with a cufflink. So I put the boutonniere, the pocket square, the bow tie, and then I go through and I pick out one of the cufflinks. And they're just, some of them are hysterical and some are serious.
Wait, stop, hold up.
Oh yeah.
This is over the top. I mean, how many, my husband is, Peter, the producer, he would like to go shopping with you, or at least borrow a few of those. How many of us here going, oh, I want my husband dressed like that. Oh, I want that in my wardrobe. I want to dress like that. Thank you, Jorge, for making fashion and tabletop and jewelry, because you do have a sense and a style. And I think that vibrance coming from your Cuban heritage it's a magnet. I mean, when do I wear color? Look what I'm wearing today, because I was going to be on with you. And the color of the accessories on the set and the jewelry and the makeup, you bring a vibrance to us it's palpable. It's believable, and it's authentically you. Like, to hear you talk about your past and all that's going on and possibly the future excitement, like sharing that with us, you're sharing it like best friends. I feel like I'm sitting here having a cocktail with my best friend who's sharing like some good news, but this is big news. Wedding gowns that have been featured,
I know,
globally, multiple lines, and even your dog is a celebrity. It's an amazing lifestyle you lead. It's truly amazing. We love it.
Oh my gosh. Thank you. And I really do love it. I'm mentoring 2 kids right now, 2 high school students that want to go into fashion. And I met with the parents and the kid this weekend. They took me out to Sunday brunch at the golf club. And I told them that really, we forget that old line, the clothes makes the man. And it really is a simple cufflink, a pocket square is a game changer. It's so easy to stand out in a world of wavering standards. I mean, it's so simple to do that. So I'm mentoring these 2 kids, and one of the things that I told them is, they're trying to decide, should I go to FIT fashion school, or should I, do other? Sometimes, a lot of these kids go into fashion school, but they don't learn the business side. So you got these great designers, and they'll never be seen. So I teach them, when I speak in colleges, I speak really about the business side. Yeah, everyone's got talent. There's always going to be somebody that can draw better than you, looks better than you, better connected. So what do you bring? And so, it's really interesting to be a kid today versus the old traditional way to, make it in this world. And boy, how difficult is that to do?
So now, but what's your take on maybe the person saying I'm more creative, but business isn't my, go-to, I'm not very good at it? Are you saying go fill in that gap and get strong at that, or at least resourceful and find someone to fill that in? What's your guidance on that?
Yeah, make sure it has to be a piece of your curriculum. It has to be. And for example, I went to UCLA, and do you know what? I worked full time the whole time I was there. You know where? At a swimming pool. I was a lifeguard. So after 4 years at UCLA, I had nothing. It's like being a waiter or whatever, versus a young kid who goes and has an internship, even if it's free paid work. They really spend your time. I told this kid this Sunday, I said, going forward, when you walk out this door, make sure that every single thing you do is directly or indirectly related to where you want to be. Walk out a different person. And the other thing is, you got to really believe in yourself, because no one's going to believe in you if you don't believe in yourself. It's got to be genuine. People can smell a phony so far away, and so those are just, basic things. So yes, I fill in those things. I tell them to job, with a design team, or, everyone likes free, a student that's going to work for free, and oftentimes they end up hiring you. But I'll tell you, I always tell too, do not have such a direct path that opportunities come and you don't take them because you're on the path. So out of college, I got a job at Bullock's department store, which is now Macy's. It was part of the Federated chain. And are you ready? I became the assistant crystal buyer. Could you imagine? And guess who met me that week? The heads of Crystal and Wedgwood China. They stole me instantly. The head of one, the CEO said, "You're coming with us," and literally just like that. It was just amazing, and that's how, it all started. But it was the Macy's that really, gave me my buying skills. I was not financial that way. I'm a Cuban boy. Everything's done for me. I had no idea, no idea. And I got an idea real fast, didn't I? So again, it doesn't take a lot, but if you're missing that component, no matter what you want to do, fashion or otherwise, you got to have that component. Otherwise, and I asked the kid, I said, "Do you want to make money?" Because he wanted to go more theater. There's no money in theater. Once you make it as a fashion designer, then you can go to a theater and say, "Oh, I made these costumes for Broadway," you know. But yes, you got to be smart, and it can't be too much of the fantasy. You got to shed some reality on top of
What
that.
part
That's
of
it.
believing in yourself, though, and apologies for interrupting you, we had a little delay there. What part of believing in yourself, like these people, the young people that you're mentoring, okay, do they believe that they're artistic or creative or have a passion for working in a certain medium? I mean, where do we begin believing in ourselves at any age, right? If it's in you and you keep snuffing it out, you don't believe in
Yeah.
yourself, no opportunities are going to present themselves. You can try and make something happen, but you literally, and
No.
looking at you, and I'm going to toss this back to you,
No.
and I know we're over time, but we're going to stretch for your audience and everyone watching. You literally have lived your life in faith and kinetically. Does this feel right? Is this opportunity right? Does this fit? Like you actually have parameters or system or standards. You have standards.
Yeah. I'm also very fortunate. Luck is a big part of everything, and one thing is getting a job. The other thing is keeping it. So it's very difficult. And the believing in yourself is, I went to public school in New York City. I had a tough life. And when you get beaten up or, whatever your issues were, because we all had everybody's got something, right? It either goes south and you become introverted and depressed and all that stuff, or it goes north and you get so much power you can't control it. And that's what I did. I pivoted north. And let me tell you, all that confidence that I did not have as a kid at all, uh, I exude it now. It feels so good. I feel so powerful, and I feel so bad when people don't feel that. But I believed in myself, and I was at a steakhouse on Park Avenue, like I don't know, 50 years ago, and I remember two of my colleagues at Watford. They were sitting there at dinner with me and my assistant, and I said, "Watch this. In 1 year, I'm going to have a wedding gown collection out, and I'm going to have my own TV show." That's what I said. A year later, my wedding gowns are out in all the magazines. And while I had a TV show, I did get on Shop HQ, the TV network, so which was great. So you see what I mean? But you gotta believe in yourself in that, yes. And I know it sounds crazy, but you gotta be that. You gotta live that life. I was watching a Hallmark movie the other night, and the gal bought these Ferragamo pumps. And she and her friend sees it. She's like, "Oh my gosh, you got the Ferragamo pumps." She goes, "Yeah, because you got to dress for the person you want to be and live that life." I was living a life that I wasn't there yet. It wasn't my life yet, but I believed it enough, and that's how things happen. Because, like I said, if you don't believe in yourself 100%, literally believe in yourself and what you want to do, no one is going to believe you. And also, too, I did something that I never did. I fell in love with myself, about 30 years ago. As I was coming up in business, I feel a little more confident and all stuff, and I had assistants and it was just, I didn't dislike myself. Well, actually, I guess I probably didn't like myself, but I decided to fall in love, and I did. And there is nothing more fun than falling in love with yourself. I'm telling you, it's just so wonderful. And also, too, I think, I try to give love a lot. Like I come through the TV. That's what I do. I mean, I feel bad for all the cameras. I need more cameras. So, but then again, that's if you took my father and you take my mother and you put them together, this is what you get. And they are both incredible personalities, fun, kingpins. When my father walks into the room, everything stops. And then my mother's the gorgeous little goddess. And that's why I'm like this. I can't fix it. They tried. It's not gonna happen.
Oh, no, don't try. We want it. We want all of it. Wow, what a beautiful honor to your mother and your father. I mean, you are a combination of them.
Oh
We
yeah.
love everything about you, your bow ties and the pocket squares in Texas and where you are and all your travels and following you. So everyone, all you have to do is go to Jorge Perez Style, Jorge Perez Style. Go to Instagram, Jorge Perez Style, or here on Facebook. Or if you're watching on the podcast, you can still connect with him through carmelasterling.com. If you get, like, I'm not sure how to reach him, super, super easy. You're so good about answering questions. I know people are glued listening to you because that's why we're all
Yeah.
here, is to listen to you. But you do stay in touch with your viewing audience, don't you?
It's so true. It's so funny because sometimes people write to me and they think, well, I respond to everyone, myself, but they think it's someone else responding because I'm so busy and all stuff. Like, no, it's really me. And it's kind of cute because they're a little bit shocked, to see that. But no, no, no. That's what I love about social media. You can actually connect, and then I've had great private conversations with a lot of, they started out as fans and now they're great friends. And without them, I'd be nothing. They're the ones who support my whole life, if you think about it. And you're only as good as your last show, as we always say in the business. And by the way, I'll be on the 21st next week. I have 2 hours of home shows. And then on the 26th, I got 3 hours of fine jewelry. So you can go to shophq.com and look at the program guide, or follow me on Facebook. I'll be posting the hours. I can't believe, are we done?
It's just, yes, we stretch a little bit because we don't want you to go. You do make us feel excited about life. I do want to know, do you have anything going on that you might just want to tell all of us here, like a little secret, a little insider thing, or something you're working on, or a dress or jewelry, a favorite piece or something, anything you want to spill the beans on is what I'm saying.
Yeah, well, I have the 3 levels, which is Black Label, Prestige, and then I have my Everyday. So there are a couple things coming out. I'm expanding the collections, like that masterpiece that you saw there. So definitely doing that. But I did, I do a show in Germany. I do the shopping network in Germany. So I haven't told anybody this, but that's going to be rolled out. Someone's even talking about Saudi Arabia, and of course Canada. I'm starting this year as well. So yeah, a lot of things coming, but follow my social media because every day it's going to change, and there's going to be some exciting news coming up, hopefully later on this year.
So wonderful.
Right,
do you love to work where you are now?
Yeah,
You're
very excited.
Your Texas home, is that where you like to do a lot of your designs? I know you travel a lot. Do you primarily like to work from there because of the weather?
Well, yeah, because I live in LA, but I moved my company to Texas for a lot of benefits. But the other reason was I'm now 3 hours away from everywhere in the United States that I need to go to. I was flying from LA to New York every week for 8 years. Now everything's 3 hours away. And let me tell you, Southern Texas is beautiful people. And I get to own waterfront properties that I couldn't ever touch, where I live. So really, I'm just so happy here, and unbelievable. The neighbors, I didn't know some of my neighbors in New York, and now everybody comes out, and it's just lovely. I'm telling you, I'm the spokesperson for like the Houston area, and Houston's the most diverse city in the United States, which is shocking to hear that. It's the single most diverse city in the United States.
Perfect that you're there. We just all love you and love that you're sharing your life with us. Jorge, thank you. Thank you so very much. A little something in Cuban Spanish before you go, though, please.
Ay, te mando muchos besos y todo mi amor, mi vida. Y muchísimas gracias por tenerme en tu show. And my mother said, tu show. Carmela, I love you. Love to Pete as well, the man behind the curtain over there. Thank you for everything. And I can't wait to see you in Minnesota next time I'm up there.
I can't wait as well. Thank you, Jorge Pérez. Ladies and gentlemen, what an incredible visit with Jorge. Go see everything that's going on in his life. Be inspired by his designs. Feel beautiful wearing them. I can't wait to go shopping for all of them. What a life. Some awesome tips today, especially hearing that we all have that creativity inside of us. Right after the show, this will be posted on all of his platforms. This will be on all podcast platforms and on YouTube. Share this with friends that may be looking for inspiration, that may need that jolt of happiness. He just makes me smile. And I think maybe you feel the same way. To keep in touch, carmelasterling.com. Sign up for the VIP list. We'll make sure that you know via email what's going on. I want to thank our sponsor, Perks, today, and our producer for putting up with us, and for Jorge's gift of love and his superpower, kindness, throughout all of his travels, especially touching down today. See you next time here on Under the Spotlight.